Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alyssa Cooper, and this is Cooking in Quarantine. I apologize for being a little late getting started today. I should have been on time. I went to my physical therapy session an hour earlier than yesterday, but I did get the kitchen very much cleaned up. I got a second pan of my bars made here and scored, and they're here cooling. I should probably check on it. I have my cute little pan here I'm putting a little melt and a little Crisco in it to keep it nice and greasy and perfect. So that's here. And maybe I could share some grease with this pan too, because it looks like it could use a little. There we go. So, I've been busy, but really the reason that I am late is I spent the last 2 hours on the phone with my two favorite guy friends from college. And I love them because names have to be changed to protect the innocent or the guilty anytime we're together. And we are radically political, and we share the same politics. And we are interested in the same kinds of things. So Alex and I are he's constantly throwing design ideas around with me and all kinds of stuff. So they are the greatest. Alex Marathis and Mark Warden, love you boys. They're like my brothers, and I couldn't do without them. No dish to my own brother, who is a totally awesome human being. And there we go. So today I got down on my knees because I couldn't figure out why my brick that normally is here to keep this door closed. You'd think I'd just put some kind of a closure on it. Not me. I think I own two, but I've never had anybody to come up and put it in for me. But when I got down on my knees to see what was blocking my brick from going back, there was a champagne cork, and this is the shutter that operates my camera. So if I want to take a picture remotely, it's the shutter. I've been looking for this since June. That just tells you that I don't get down on my knees and clean underneath this little shelving unit properly. So, hello, that's a good day. Found that. And let's see. So, I'm just going to say that I don't know what it's like where you are. And hello, Jody. How are you? But this morning when I got off the subway, and it's funny, I usually am never here this week. By now, what is this, the 22nd? Is this the 22nd? Oh, the 23rd it must be. Let's see, what is the date? Let's be clear on that. It's the 23rd today. So by now, I would be in Kentucky if it was a normal time, a normal year. And so maybe the city changes when I'm away, and I'm not aware of this, but there are suddenly, and out of nowhere it seems, an alarming number of homeless people. And, now listen, in my neighborhood, there's the guy at 19th Street, there's a couple of people who you see regularly. There's the Asian lady who collects bottles and has, them piled up 10 feet into the air. There are known characters in my neighborhood. It's, because New York is not a city, it's a collection of villages. But it really just smacked me in the face. I saw so many unfamiliar faces this morning. And so I've decided that I'm going to keep baking, and I'm going to make little bags and just carry them around with me the next couple of days. So I'm going to put a couple bucks in it, and maybe a couple pieces of candy or something like that. And when I see somebody, just give them a little Christmas present, because it's just breaking my heart, guys. Our whole country is hurting in such terrible ways. And my prayer for Christmas is that we can all come together and do what's right for our neighbors. All right, that's all. Just think about your neighbor. And there's something that Alex and Mark and I were talking about. Did I say Mark Warden too? Mark Warden and Alex Marathis were on the phone with me. And I said, I think that really what's the biggest problem in our world today is that people seem to think that their job is to love their neighbor. And you know, it depends on the scope of your world, whether your neighbor is literally your neighbor and loving this neighbor. You love this neighbor, so it's okay to really not love this neighbor. Here's where the problem lies. If you go and you look at where that comes from, love your neighbor as yourself. It's love your neighbor as yourself, right? But before that line, it says, love yourself as God loves you. And so not to get too religious, but just to say, if you don't love yourself, how in God's name do you expect to be kind and loving to your neighbor, right? So if the one thing I can encourage everybody to do at Christmas is to take a look at that, really take a hard look at yourself and say, if you can't sit down and write down 10 things that you admire about yourself, you've got a lot of work to do, right? So please do that. Take that little time to be introspective, right? You're not going to be surrounded by hundreds of family members this year. So take the time and look inside. That's all my tiny suggestion. So I've learned that when I thawed out my cranberry ginger that I saved from Thanksgiving, these clearly are not very good for the freezer because it's burst here. I have not opened it. I have no idea if it's going to be usable, but let's see. Smells fabulous. I am a big believer in the smell test. So what I'm going to do today is put together a baked brie. Right? They're so great to have, and they're super easy. You put them together and you bake them. Bake them off, and then if you're not ready to use it right away, you can put them back. Keep them out. I mean, it depends on how long you're doing it, overnight or later in the day. If you're doing it overnight, it's cheese. Cheese doesn't really, it's fermented. It's like wine. It's the wine of milk. So you could leave it out in most of the day and then warm it up when everybody comes in. And I always do this. I always try to open things like this, and I know I can't. So let me get a scissor. I try to be a person who is prepared, but then, Alex and Mark call, and they distract me. So here we go. Now I'm going to do this properly. Get this cut so we can get in here. And cut. Perfect. Now it's working. And I get a little bit of flour on my board. Scissors. So, like I said, I saved the relish that I made, because I made so much at Thanksgiving, froze a portion of it, specifically thinking ahead to doing this. Now, you don't have to do fruit in it. You could do, then if you wanted to do like apples on a mandolin and lay them out on top of your brie, or just get the good, if you guys have Kroger in Kentucky, so where the Murray's cheese counter is, hello, you can get the good fig jelly, right, that they have there. That would be another great thing to put on the top of your brie when you're doing this. But it's a great thing to have around, right? Nothing fills a person up quite like some hot steaming cheese, right? And so I've just floured my board a little bit so nothing sticks. And I did thaw this out a little sooner than I probably should have, but that's okay. So I have here puff pastry. I bought this at Trader Joe's. I used it, I don't know, for something earlier. What do you think I did with the puff pastry recently? And it's quite good. So I've got my second roll here, thawed out. And I'm going to gently remove the paper from, I probably need to pull back a little bit. So here's what you want to do is kind of figure out how big you need this to be in order to kind of evenly cover this. So I've got my Grandma Allstott's rolling pin here, and I'm going to roll this out. There we go. Get it. Oof. Be careful. I'm going to more carefully roll this out the next time. There we go. And so I need for it to be about the size, the width of two, both going both ways. Now I'll have more dough than I need, and I'll be able to trim some of that off, which probably should mean that I should have pulled a knife out. So, Brie. Just plain old Brie. You don't need anything fancy. Make sure that it doesn't, have herbs or anything on it, unless you're making a savory one, right? So, first thing I'm going to do here is I want to spoon onto here some, some of my relish, right? And there we go, just, don't need a ton, but just a little bit so there's a little burst of flavor in every mouthful. Of course, I use the smallest spoon in the house to do it, but who cares, right? And the reason I want to do this is because, the cranberry is so pretty, right? And red is a Christmassy color. And what could be better than that, right? So now I'm going to do this little trick right here. If I can, I'm going to just turn that upside down. Delicious. That's not a paper towel. That's a paper towel. And now I'm going to cut my edges off here so that I've got little bits and pieces. Let's see, how's this here? Denise. I'm wearing my looking at things glasses, not my reading things glasses. Hello, Kelly and Donnie, and hello, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. And let's see, I need a little sharp knife because the really sharp little knife is in the sink because I didn't get it all done this morning. So I'm just going to trim off the edges a little bit so that I round it out a little bit. And there we go. And it's also going to give me the dough I need. I'm right-handed. I can't do anything left-handed. So let me turn this around and I'll be able to do it better. There we go. Now I can cut the corners around again. It's funny. I'm weird. I'm weird that way. So anyway, now I have these little pieces here that I can use for decoration, right? Come up, baby. There we go. So I'm gonna kind of neatly set them aside. There we go. And there we go. And now I'm gonna take these and just pull it up and give it a little pinch as I pull it up and pull it around, pull it up and pull it around. And you want to do it from close each time, right? So that you can keep pulling it almost like you're making pleats, right? And then basically what I've got right here looks like a soup noodle. I mean a soup dumpling. But I like it a lot. Fantastic. And so I've got this, I did a little spot where I didn't get it quite as tightly done as I really wish I had, but I don't think it's worth doing it over. There we go. There we go. Just a little bit. Pretty nice. For me, who's not particularly artsy-fartsy, I feel very good about myself right now. And then I think what I'm going to do is, again, turn it over so I have a nice smooth surface on this side. There we go. Get a little bit of that flour off because it's just going to make a paste when we get to the place where we're going to egg wash this. But I can't egg wash it right now because I don't have any eggs. Let's see, is this big enough? Not quite. So let's move this and get these here where we can make a few snowflakes and make this pretty. Here we go. If you were my rolling pin. You know, I keep saying that if I ever had a bigger apartment or a bigger house, I would just spend more of my time wandering around, looking for my glasses, looking for my phone. My boyfriend is a guy who is likely to take the TV remote to the bathroom with him and then not know where it is ever again. So it's, I don't know what I'd do in a larger square footage. Now, how much space? That's a good one. The right end, yes. Perfect. Make sure I got all the way through. Excellent. That's the best. When they just go on like they're supposed to. I'm going to see. Oh, that's adorable. Perfect. I like it when it's perfect. Because that doesn't happen for me all the time, you know. Says the girl who burns the bread. Ooh, 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 no, that didn't do. That didn't do. All the way through. It didn't do. Okay. Okay. This one is giving me a little bit of grief. That one little spot. Here we go. Of course, I'm now wearing looking at things glasses and not reading glasses, so I can't really see what I'm doing here. There's one. I'm going to put this to the side and see if I can get another one, because I think I can only take 3 on this. So I'm just going to really cut this one all the way through. Make sure I get it all the way through, and there we go. That's what I'm talking about. And now it's so cute. So here we have it. Just my little snowflake baked brie. Can you see that? How cute they are. So the only thing left to do, and I knew that would happen because, you know, I don't have my egg wash on here. So you just need to take, I need to take an egg, crack it, throw a little water in it, get out my stinky garlicky pastry brush, and brush it on, right? So that's all that I kind of have going right this minute, except to maybe show you that what happens with these guys. Like I said, you need to score them, basically cut them, and you don't want to drag. You have to cut them straight down. That's why I suggested you use a bench scrape to do it, and that's exactly what I used. That's what I'm looking for. And so, yikes, here we go. So here's what right out of the oven, I took my bench scrape and straight down, and cut all of those little pieces, and you can see how small they are, right? So anyway, that's really more than enough for you if you're having one of these. So I got out of this quarter jelly roll pan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 48 pieces. So think about that. That's a really great, delivers big, and everybody likes them. If you wanted to, you could put it with a little scoop of ice and ice cream, make it be kind of like a brownie sundae, would be fantastic with that. But it's really a great thing, and it goes a long, long way. So there you go, guys. So as my friend Sale said this morning, to remind you that it's Christmas Adam, because Adam comes before Eve, right? So I'll see you tomorrow for Christmas Eve. I have no idea what we'll be doing, because I'm not having a big meal on Christmas Eve. I'm going to have a big meal on Christmas evening. And I probably will be here on Christmas morning, because I really have nothing to do after I watch Wonder Woman in bed. That's the only plan I have for Christmas morning. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it so much. I just thought about something. So yesterday I had the list that I told you, about think positively, exercise daily, eat healthy, work hard, stay strong, worry less, dance more, love often, be happy, right? So today I'm going to share another little list that I found with you. Here's the reading things glasses. Now I can see eventually. I'm as blind as a bat. So anyway, this is a little list I found that said 10 life-changing habits. Every day you should have 1 hour of exercise, 2 liters of water, 3 cups of tea, 4 colors on your plate, 5 minutes of meditation. You should listen to 6 songs that fill you with joy. You should have 7 minutes of laughter, 8 hours of sleep, read 9 pages in a book, and think about, or hopefully write down 10 reasons to be grateful. So if anybody would like to join me, maybe we'll do, I'm not going to ask you to start before Christmas, but one of the best suggestions that I've seen lately is if you go out the morning after Christmas and buy yourself a heavily discounted, high quality Advent calendar, you'll have exactly the number of days between then and the new administration being sworn in. So there's that. So you want to do a little, day after Christmas we'll start, and we'll all try to do this. I'll publish this on the page so that you can see what it is. And I'd love it if people would join me. Getting an hour of exercise every day would be great for me. And now that my body doesn't hurt so bad, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could even dance a little bit. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm a terrible dancer, right? As a matter of fact, Elaine Bennis I make Elaine Bennis look like a good dancer. So anyway, guys, there's my story today. I really am. Now I'm going to go home. Now I'm going to call it quits, and we're going to go buy some eggs so that we can get that egg wash on there. So thank you all, guys. I'll see you soon. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks. What else is here? Hello, Bobby. And hello. Okay. Got everybody today. Thank you.